What's like your overall view of the trip?
From
a hockey perspective.
We got the Hockey Hall of Fame, Toronto. I always try to stop in there. Always nice to visit there's a little Vegas Golden Knights shrine, so it's a nice reminder of what we did and what we want to do again. Ottawa's family, Montreal. I like walking around Montreal. I like the downtown old Montreal, so it's just places that I grew up in Ottawa. My mother's from Montreal, so it's a little bit of going back in time.
So you will go visit that display?
I usually go in Toronto. The problem is what time do we land, right? So then it's game day and that becomes a problem. So it will depend on that. But usually I do when I'm there. I always try to go through. Not only that, you know what else? They have a great display of the 72 series Canada-Russia. It's got they have a video, and I was 7 years old. And that's what we used to say, where were you when that happened? It was a big deal in Canada at the time.
I'm a Mark and also on that top line with Jack Eichel has been steady. What has made him such a steady force on that line?
Well, he knows his role. He gets to the dirty areas. He can score around the front of the net. Gets the puck off the wall to Jack. I've always said that. Jack is really good in transition through the neutral zone. So I think he knows that that's what he needs to do on that line. Forecheck presence. The thing about Barbie's, he's got sneaky good skill that probably people don't realize. Might now a little more because he was using a different role in St. Louis, I think, for the most part. Worked his way up. So he's got a good hockey IQ for skill players in small area plays.
David Stone both in red today. Kind of updated timelines on that.
Nothing new. I assume it'll depend a little bit how they got through today, right? And then we leave tomorrow. So are they traveling? I don't know that yet. I would hope so, but that'll be determined by the trainers at some point, either tomorrow morning or after they give them their feedback today. Olison, I think, was out there too.
Toronto has Taylor Swift fever right now. She just wrapped up a couple shows there, and she's going to be back after you guys leave. I know you're.
Is she playing tomorrow night or no?
No.
Weekends, right?
Weekend,
Yeah, we're gone.
I'm Taylor Swift, though, so curious where your fandom on Taylor Swift.
My daughter just saw her in Miami, so my daughter is a big fan. So anything my daughter likes, I like, and I think she is a very good entertainer and very great artist, and writes her own songs. So she's done a great job. So, but we won't see her, right?
Right. No. What's your favorite song right now? I heard.
Style.
What's that?
Style, I think it's called. Out of Style, maybe? Yeah. Is it Out of Style or Style? Just Style? Just Style, right? Come on, Ashley.
Yeah.
Work with me here.
Is it on your playlist? Do you listen to it driving to the arena? Or
No, it's on a playlist. It's called a beach playlist, which again is a lot of Shannon's influence in the summer. So we play it around the pool and down by, and there'll be lots of Taylor Swift songs. That's the one I kind of like.
does that mean that you gravitated from Patriots to Chiefs?
No. Not a Chiefs guy. I enjoy watching the Chiefs. I like Andy Reid. I think he's done a great job. Mahomes is fun to watch. Kels, great tight end. They got a great team, but I'm not there yet. Can I say that around the Raiders? I know that's a big rivalry. I know, so I got to be careful. But they are a good team.
When you have downtime, which is probably very rare for a hockey coach in season, and you don't have game, you don't have practice, and you're watching game, but you're not watching to scout. Who have you enjoyed watching this season, player or team?
That's a good question. Usually watching with a purpose. I'll say that if whoever's coming up. Tell you I haven't watched, but I will, that I'm looking forward to watching is Michkov in Philadelphia. What happens a lot for us is the pre-scouts, sometimes you catch the same team that we're going to play down the road, so you're watching a lot of them, but Philly hasn't been in that mix or the Rangers for that matter. I'm curious to see how they're doing because they're a pretty good hockey team. So obviously I like to watch McDavid. He's fun to play. We see him a lot. He is in our pre-scouts because he's out west. Makar, lots of fun, good ideas for D-man, how you can sort of, without that skill set, maybe emulate what he's trying to do. I know he's unique, but to me, I was a Bobby Orr guy, so I love watching him play.
When you look at the complexion of the season to this point, a couple months in, whatever we are, month and a half, you come in and you answer the same questions that we ask. practice after a game, after a loss in particular. Is it just part of the hockey season? It's more us making a big deal about the analysts, TV broadcasters than anything? It's something like, once you go away, this is part of it, used to.
It means like today?
No
For,
concern.
well, I always have concerns. I think coaches are wired that way. You know, you walk out of the building last night, you know, why aren't we starting better? We didn't start well in Utah. We didn't start well last night at home. We didn't start well against Carolina, so that's crept in. So it's a concern. Things that become tendencies become a concern. So, you think through that, then you start watching the game and realize you get to your game. We got to our game in Utah, got to our game in the second period, just dug ourselves a bit of a hole. Should have got out of it. We had some tough luck around the net. So there's always concerns. But then when we come in front of the guys today, it's okay, here's what we did well yesterday. Our starts are becoming an issue. So what do we need to do? Wednesday morning, what do we got to do better as a staff? You talk to a few older guys, or preparation at night, whatever it is to get going earlier. Is it just a matter of, checking in with a few older guys, say, hey, or is it a team thing? So sometimes you discuss both those things. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but this is all I went through this morning. And then there's individual talks, guys that are going well, guys that are struggling a little bit to, pick them up. And I took my kids to school because I'm leaving for a week, and they were in Boston last weekend, so I picked them up yesterday. So to be quite honest, hockey was the farthest thing from my mind this morning, until you walk through the doors here and then you get back at it.
Like Jack said, I asked him the same question. He said, in this room, we don't read what all you guys write. That's right, the analysts. So we assess within the group, and that's what we do.
Yeah, listen, I'm around it. I can't help it. I read a lot of the articles because I'm curious what's going on with other teams. Maybe to get out in front of some of the questions too, right? If you guys are writing certain things, I'd like to have an idea where it's going, because you get asked a lot of different questions, 2 or 3 times a day from different angles. So you should have an idea what's current or topical from the previous game. So yes, there's a little bit of that, but I did not read any articles, like I said, from yesterday. Was there something out there I should know? Is that what you're telling me?
It's just more or less everyone going, what's wrong with Golden Knights on the road? Or why did they lose the way they did? When you could just be going, this is hockey, we're in the second month, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think if we were losing the same way every night and we were disengaged and sloppy every night, like there's pockets of every game where we're part of those things. We're also very exciting and can be a quick strike team and can be hard, all those things too. So you're just always trying to build it so we always talk about building our games so that there were a lot more positives by March and April than there are negatives, right? So you got to get through those stretches, and we're navigating through it a little bit now. We're without our captain now. It's been a while. We're without Carlson. So we're managing without good people and replacing them, and still, finding ways to get production from other people too. So that's a little bit of the next part of the concern of a coach, right? Is always making sure we don't allow that to become an excuse. So, yeah, I will say this. We weren't happy with last night's game. I think nobody was when we left the rink. We also feel like we could have easily, a little bit of puck luck around the front of the net got back in there too, right? Like the analytics showed that. But we got to translate that into first period starts. That's where I'd say we need to be better, and our focus should be on Wednesdays. Let's play that game earlier, sooner, and longer.
What was your takeaway with the conversation with the guys about the starts?
Well, some of that has to stay in-house too, Darren. And some of it's just being assertive and aggressive right from the get-go. Instead of maybe waiting for something to happen, let's go make something happen. So again, that falls on all of us to develop that mindset and keep messaging that to the players. It's on the players to also be, listen, they're paid to be, to play and ready to play. We prepare him, but when puck drop goes, that's when it switches to the individual, he has to have done what he needs to do too. So I think we have to meet halfway on that.
Are you informed who's put on the watch list for diving? Did they tell, because they have that meeting on Monday mornings, they know everybody brings in whoever.
I do not know who's on it. Do I have access to it? It's a good question. I don't have the answer to that because it's not something I ever looked at. Unless there was a guy out there that we continually played that I sort of think, wow, like every time. So, and there's some of those guys around the league. It's a little early now to say who it was. I'm trying to think back over the years, but there is a list, right?
Well, they do it every week, so they look.
So do you have it?
They keep
Because I was going to
track-
ask you for it if you do.
They keep track of the situation room and player safety.
Yeah, they do. And guys get fined, right?
Monday morning, they have a call, they put guys on a watch list, or if the guy's been on the watch list, they actually fine.
Yeah, I know there'll be fines eventually. That's rare, isn't it, though? Like, what's it happen, a couple times a year? So, I haven't looked at it this year if there is one. And
Would you like them to call both more often? Call if it's, if it's a 1 minute trip, but it's also it's embellished, would you like them both to get calling you?
I don't know, is this the call last night to start the game? Because I don't think it was a trip. I think he toe picked. I don't think he dove. I think he toe picked. That's what I think happened, and I watched it a lot. And I think the official got fooled. He'll have his opinion, obviously, made the call, but that's how I saw it. Just a guy that kind of stutter stepped, and that was that. But